This podcast includes explicit language and sensitive topics that some may find offensive.
All views expressed belong to the individual speaking and not a representation of any entity that we have been, am now, or will be affiliated with. It's your chance to back out now.
That being said, if not,
enjoy the show.
Previously on The Black Man Misunderstood.
Disclaimer: don't be trying to come for my job. Don't be trying to come for me as a man. None of that. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the name of the title is the name of the title because of me. Cause I don't think I care. I'm just being real with you. But we're gonna get to this.
black man, misunderstood.
It's your boy Mike B.
In the neighborhood therapist.
Welcome back to The Black Man Misunderstood. Here we discuss topics about the black man that others are afraid to speak on. I'm your host, Mike B, and this is episode 11 of season 4. Be a homeowner, they said. Joining me as always, my brother.
Justice Payne Tyson, the neighborhood therapist, but my name is going to be the real estate development guy for this episode. I just made it up on the spot, so it ain't gonna stick. I just want to have some fun today. Want to educate some people. We out here. What's good?
Bro, you silly for that. Oh man, you silly for that.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Like I said, it's be a homeowner, they said.
Yeah, man.
Why are we doing this, bro? Come on, talk to me.
Because it's not a lot of millennials that own homes, right? That's one. That's statistical data. I think that we need to give the facts of like the beauty of homeownership and then the ugly side that people don't talk about. It's not really that ugly. It's just those things, those mishaps that if you're not paying attention, they can happen. If you don't know no better, you don't know no better. Especially us. I'm going to speak for both of us on this one. I think I'm right. It's a culture shock. You know what I mean? We're East Coast kids. And then you change states, different things going on. You know, we're going to get into it like limestones in Florida. Like, what the? You know, stuff like that. You feel me? Like, it's just, this is necessary. You know what I mean? Even if you feel like even if you older than millennials, like it's still things I think we're going to talk about that's really, really going to tap in. Be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Let me check on it. So this is necessary, bro. I'm excited.
Sure, yes, sir. So let's get to it. So I see here we're gonna start with the home buying process. And since you are more into real estate than I am, sir, I'm gonna throw this your way.
Okay. All right. So we're not gonna drag this out, because we got a whole shebang of things to do. But let me just take y'all through the steps, okay? So the home buying process, the first thing you want to do is get pre-approved. Some people come out the gate and they just look for a home. I'm pleading with you, please go get pre-approved, make your life easier. All you got to do is go to your bank or your local credit union, ask them for a pre-approval. They'll run your credit, make sure your credit is A1 or B1. Make sure you got some down payment money. If you don't, I don't know. I can't even say if you don't, because times have changed. This ain't 4 or 5 years ago. You know, you kind of got to come with a down payment, man. It's kind of messed up. But pop quiz time, Mike. Pop quiz time.
Okay.
What year had the highest mortgage rate?
The highest mortgage rate. What year?
Pop quiz. School 13, 8th grade classic.
Honestly, I think a lot of listeners would try to say it's right now, but me knowing the history of our country and certain stuff that happened since we've been alive, I am going to say the mortgage rate was the highest in probably around 2008, 2009.
Ooh, okay. I'm not mad at that. And I know why you went there. You would be wrong. I know why you went there, though.
Yeah, of course.
I would have gave you a B for effort, for sure. It was actually 1981.
Wait, what?
1981. Yes, sir. 18.63% was the APR. That was the going rate. By October of 1981. Yeah, bro. Madness.
I don't even want to say my sister age right now, but dang.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess the crack epidemic. I don't know anything. I have
That
no
makes
clue.
that ain't
That's
make
high.
no sense to me.
That's high, right?
That's high.
Okay. So let's go others end of the spectrum. Who had the lowest?
Now that because you that first answer, what I was originally gonna say, I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna be true anymore. Um, hmm.
Just take a guess. Your first thought is usually the right thought, bro. I feel like you got it.
All right. So hear me out. So I'm guessing there were regulations and stuff to be put in so that rate don't go that high anymore.
Okay.
So if I was to guess, I would probably say 91, 92.
Man, where you go? Was you was in 2008. You were close. You were close. With the original answer you had, you were close. Bro, it was during your lifetime. 2021, right after COVID. Yep. 2.65. 2.65 APR. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know it to be true because your brother got quoted for that before I made the move. Yeah. That's the low.
What?
That's the lowest it's ever been in history.
All right.
And I'm sure
Now,
people have gotten it lower, maybe 2.1 or something like that, but that is the average low. 2.65. Madness,
yeah,
right?
yeah, this don't make no sense. I am
Why not?
confused. No, I am confused a little bit because, like, no. And then again, now I'm thinking about it for a second. Now I took a minute to think about it. The rate is one thing, but the value of the house is another.
There you go. My man. My man. There you go. Now we working.
All right.
Right. Right.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you now. All right, it makes more sense now because
Of course.
homes weren't as expensive back then as they are now. So you don't
Exactly.
need to put as much of an interest rate on it now versus back then because you
Right.
probably still end up making more money on it now interest wise.
You talking about the banks or us?
Yeah, I'm talking about the banks and
Oh, the
everything.
banks. Yeah, right. And right now, as of the time of this recording in 2024, we're at 6.25 average
Yeah.
APR. And for those of you that's looking, listening to the podcast, like, what are y'all talking about? The mortgage APR is what you have to pay on your loan. The APR is the same thing on like a credit card type thing, but those are two different APRs. And then the last point, which I'm not going to dig deep into, is mortgage points, which is basically just prepaid interest. So for like let's say you get a $400,000 home, you would have to, for 1 point is like $4,000.
Mm.
That is the extent, and that is as far as I'm going. For those of you that are super interested in that, do your research. I can't tell you which way is better. Some people do points and APR. Some people just do flat out APR. You got to do what's best for you. You got to seek research. That's not the purpose of this episode. This episode is just to lay out a broad foundation, and then we just dig and then we dive in. Okay. As far as getting pre-approved, back to that. So you got conventional loans, you got an FHA loan, you got renovation loans, you got VA loans, etc. You got 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't know too many people doing 10-year loans. There are people that do 15-year homeowner loans and mostly 30-year loans. That's usually what we look at.
Mm-hmm.
I would say when you going to with the end in mind. Do you plan on owning this home for the rest of your life? Do you plan on making it a flip and switch? Whatever. Things to consider. Just things to consider. Work your way backwards from the beginning. You be good. All right. Next thing, hire a real estate agent. I don't care how long you've been in the real estate game. I don't care about none of that, bro. Just hire a real estate agent when you do your house hunting. And please, please, do not use the seller's real estate agent. So if you go on Zillow, right, or something like that, the person selling the home will have a real estate agent selling the home for them most of the time. Okay. They tell you to reach out to the person selling the home. You're reaching out to their real estate agent. So what their real estate agent is going to do is go, hey, yeah, I got you. And now they're going to be negotiating for the buyer and the seller. How does that help you?
That doesn't.
So something to look out for. I do know that they are attempting to, or they did change the law for the real estate agents because they used to get 3% each. So the buyer's agent and the seller's agent would get 3% of your cut each. But now they're changing it, so I think the real estate agents are trying to get the full 6%. Yeah, I got
Wait,
to
no,
do my
no.
research.
Wasn't there? No, no. There was like a federal rule, I think, that switched it from that you have to pay it. So the real estate agents have to ask the seller if they're gonna pay that portion or not. Now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is. I
But
think.
it's
Yeah.
some other nasty. There's a way. There's a loophole out of that. So I'm just telling people do their research, bro. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna do
Mm-hmm.
that here. Just do your research, okay? I'm just throwing it out there. You know how I am, bro. I'll throw a gem out there, and you gotta polish it,
Fish it,
right?
fish and get the answer. Uh huh.
Okay. So after you get an agent, right? Let's say y'all done went through about 10 homes or maybe five. It's up to you. And you feel like you found your home, right? This is the biggest thing I can tell you. Don't have your emotions involved in this, please. Please don't have your emotions involved in this. Look at the home with the end goal in mind. What are we going to do with this home? We're trying to build a family here. We gonna rent it out later. Blah blah blah. You got to keep your goals in mind because if you go in there with, oh, I just love the accent walls and all this other stuff, I'm telling you, you're gonna get got because you're gonna miss that the floor, the foundation is cracking or something like that. I'm telling you. Okay. So again, after you made the search and you found the home you want, make an offer. Just make an offer. See what they talking about, right? Let's say things go perfectly. Okay. The offer got accepted. Now, next step is home inspection and then get the house appraised. So, home inspection is going to find if you got a leaky roof, foundation is messed up, gas leak, anything like that. So, let's say all of that goes over well. Next step is super easy, bro. You pretty much got the house. So now you got to get home insurance. If you live in Texas, if you live in Florida, depending on the certain rules, certain counties, you got to buy flood insurance. You
Mm-hmm.
quick question, you got flood insurance? Did they require you?
I don't think we're in our location. We're not required.
Okay, okay, yeah. But there's certain places where you require you got to do
Mm-hmm.
that. Some people live in a floodplain. Another question for you, Mike. Do you live in a floodplain? I never asked you.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I left. I'm on top of the floodplain. The floodplain right below me.
Mm.
So that was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
no, no. I definitely don't think I'm in a floodplain because with the couple of hurricanes that I've seen since being down here, I never had to evacuate ever,
Yeah,
so I'm good.
yeah. And some people call it a flood zone. It's still flood
Mm-hmm,
place or whatever,
mm-hmm.
wherever the floods are. Right? So for people being on extra. Um, You got that though. Once you get your home ownership, you pretty much right there at the door. You got to go to closing. But before you get to closing, the inspection might find something. If you find something in the inspection, you have the power to go back to the deal and renegotiate the deal. Now, that's up to y'all how it work. Again, I'm just broadening it out for y'all. Let's say everything goes over well. You close on the house. You go to the house, man, and then you figure out what your property value is along the way. And then, of course, you got to get ready for those property taxes at the end of the year.
All right, I'm gonna add one caveat because you're talking from the view of homes already built. New homes is a slight little different.
Talk to us.
The process is practically the same. Of course, you're looking at the land area. I would say when you're getting a new build, look out for trees. That was a big thing with me and my family and everything. Looking at different houses down here, the in-laws and whatnot. It was making sure there wasn't no big trees in the way, obstructing the field. So when the house do go up, it's not blocking, or the tree won't be a detriment to the house because of hurricanes and other things of that nature. Also, you want to make sure you find the style of house that you want, because there's new builds for everything out here. There's new builds with HOAs. There's new builds with no HOAs. Honestly, in my opinion, a lot of them out here that I've seen have been HOAs. Um, New builds that you get to pick every piece and part of your house that you want to do. You have creative free will, but then there's other times where they limit you and like you have these options, and these options. Pick. So look out for stuff like that. Um, Also, if you're moving from somewhere else, meaning out of the state or states away, and you can't be down here regularly to check the build of the house, make sure you have someone in the area checking for you, because they could be corners cut and stuff happening during the build that is incorrect, that you may not have seen because you're not here. Luckily, we have family in the area. Me and my wife, we came down couple of times with our with my in-laws to make sure different points, like everyone was coming and checking stuff, and like behold, a lot of stuff has happened. Like there was one time we came and they put in a tile. It was like, oh, nice tile, right tile, wrong way set up. They were supposed to be put in a diagonal. They were put in straight. So they had to rip up the whole floor and redo it. And the reason I bring that up is because we asked for that request and that was extra.
Oh, okay.
So it's things like that. You got to pay attention, because with new builds, they tend to order bulk, guys, and this is what people forget. They order bulk, and then sometimes they don't pay attention to, oh, this is supposed to go to this house, that can go to that house. Sometimes they're just putting these houses up so quickly. They're like, all right, we got the stuff, put it in, and they put in the wrong stuff, and it prolongs the period of the house being completed. Because then, especially after the pandemic, a lot of supply chains were messed up. So now you have a delay, because now what you need is going to take another month or two to get there, because they used the wrong thing. They damaged it. And so they had to order a whole new thing. Even though it costs the company money, it's also wasting your time. And who knows? You may have a new job that you need to start and you need to be down there at that moment in time. You may have, you just may have, your lease may be up from where you're at currently and you have to come down there. So a lot of those stuff plays into the whole time and closing and things of that nature when it comes to new builds. I know I'm not saying everything, but that's a lot of the stuff that came to the top of my head for most of that stuff.
Absolutely. Question for you: with a new build, were y'all in control of hiring who the contractors were to build, or did the HOA have to give you a group of people to pick from?
So with the new builds, it's usually the company that you're buying it from. So the
That would do the construction?
Pulte's, yeah, that the Pulte's of the world. I forget a couple of the other companies. Um, Pulte's a big one, because I didn't realize how big before I even moved to Jersey. You know, Pulte's built like a whole bunch of townhomes up in Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Yo, what? They all over the place." Okay, makes sense. But yeah, Pulte's usually have their own guys that they try to do, contractors and things of that nature. The key here with a new build is that home inspection and that appraiser. You want to get your own. Those two things are key, because they'll look out for your benefit, not Pulte's
Of
benefit. Because
course.
Pulte's benefit, they'll of course have an inspector, but that inspector may miss a couple of things because they've seen 20 houses in a day. Your inspector, yes, they're going to see 20 houses in a day, but it's 20 different houses, not the same house being put up. So
Right. Yeah, man, that's I love that break-in, bro. I feel like because I wasn't even thinking about that, so that's why this works, man. All
yeah,
right,
man, I told you
all
that's
right.
why we do this.
So to me, my opinion, that was the boring part of the show. I felt like we just needed to build that. I ain't gonna lie to you, that we needed to build that foundation. Everything else after this, I'm going to tell people from the door. This is entertainment, but it's the truth. It's our truth. It's what we've gone through. So we got to give them a very, very small story. Mike, you are from the East Coast, correct?
Correct.
I am from the East Coast. We didn't never. I'm speaking for both of us because I'm trying to remember both our past, but I don't think we've ever grew up in houses. If we
Nah.
did, we grew up in like the first floor, the second floor, the third floor of the house. But there
Correct.
were
Correct.
multiple people in the house because in the East Coast, it's a house, but it's broken up into apartments. If that makes is that the
Yeah,
way?
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, basically, what we like to call is 2 family homes, 3 family homes, things of that nature.
right. But it's broken up into
Yeah.
it's not a duplex though. Like, because people, I talk to people, they be like, "Oh, she lived in a duplex." I'm like, it wasn't a duplex. It was a house. It just broke it up.
Not every house like that was duplex. Most of the
Yeah.
houses is you on one floor, the other door goes, you take stairs up and you climb up and get. Come on, man.
But seriously, bro, when you try to explain that to some people, they can't fathom it. It don't
That's
make sense
crazy.
to them.
Yeah.
So I be having a hard time trying to explain. I'm like, bro, no, it's an actual house. You go through a door, there's a whole blueprint in there. Second floor, it's a whole blueprint in there, and it might be a third floor, which is technically an attic, but there's a whole family up there as well. So that's how we were raised. Okay, and then we also raised. You got the projects, so as we call it,
You got the apartment
buildings, all those things. I don't think we need to go into apartments and the projects, correct?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. For Mike and Just to make the transition to standalone homes, that's what this episode is about to be. All right, let's have fun.
Yes,
Hurricane.
Sir. Bruh. Don't get me started.
So for the listeners, Mike happens to live in goddamn Hurricane Alley. Just happens to live in Hurricane Alley. Mike lives in Florida, Just lives in Texas. Those places, with the exception of Louisiana, those three places are hotbeds for hurricanes. Okay. So now let me ask you this, Mike. You've been in hurricanes in New Jersey before, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Which one is worse, Florida or Jersey? Hurricane. That's crazy, bro.
Florida, easily. It's and the crazy thing is we had flooding and everything in Jersey, right? But like the loss of value, not even value or valuable items, your personal items and everything goes so much higher in Florida, in my opinion, versus Jersey. Like the hurricane comes through, some people may lose their cars, and most of the time, that is it. Unless they have a basement. That's literally it. In Florida, bruh, you can lose your car, you can lose your roof, you can lose part of the house. Man, all your clothes are gone, all the electricity in your house is gone, your whole yard messed up, you lose your life. Bruh. Florida hurricanes are a different animal, and I didn't realize until I was down here. Like, I've seen it, and I understood what happened to people, but to understand the realization of how much of a difference, and I'm like, yo, this is apples to oranges here. What is this to me?
Word. Okay. So
Bro,
I feel the same.
ahead.
I definitely feel the same. Hurricanes in Texas are definitely a whole different type of animal. Again, I gotta keep saying this. I'm an East Coast concrete jungle kid. The things I'm about to speak on, the things I'm about to speak on, I know nothing about because I'm not from that. But I had to learn real quick. Bro, the latest hurricane we just went through, I'm not going to name it, but there was a Category 1 hurricane. I want y'all to think about that. It was only a Category 1 hurricane, but still it dropped 100-foot oak tree in my backyard. I got 3 trees in my backyard. One of them I knocked down on my own, right? I had people come out and we cut it down because it was hanging over the house. It was too much. But the other 2, one is still standing, but the other one was back there. And that bad boy, the Category 1 came through and knocked the whole thing, uprooted it down, knocked over my neighbor's fence, our fence. It landed on, it just did a lot. It did a lot. Bro, do you know I've never had a chainsaw. I've never used a chainsaw. It just was, I didn't think it was in my cars. I'm like, what do I need that for? It's my first time going to get a gas powered chainsaw. Don't know what you're doing. Learned about bar oil. Learned about mechanical, engineered fuel because all the gas stations were out. Oh, that's the other thing about hurricanes in Texas. Oh, there's no gas. There's no gas. All the gas stations are closed, or if it does have gas, everybody's piled up. Half of the Texans are real good Texans. They're being good Texans. They're waiting in line. And then half of the Texans are like, I got a gun. I'm taking the spot. Then the other Texans that are very nice are like, we got guns too. What you want to do? It be like that. Bro, Texas is unique. Texas is different. I love Texas. Texas really gonna stand on them.
Wait. So they don't let y'all prep and get oil gas before? Because I know in Florida, that's the thing. We all get gas beforehand.
All right. All right. I'm gonna say this with all due love and respect. Okay. The thing about Texans, and I'm speaking generalistic when I say this, but I think Texans, if they hear this, they're gonna be like, nah, this is facts. You have maybe like a quarter of the Texans that just leave. Like, depending on where it's gonna hit. So if it's gonna hit Houston, right? You have a quarter of Houstonians that will leave. They'll go to San Antonio, they go to Dallas, they'll get gone. They'll board up and they'll dip out, right? The rest of them, we kind of just sit in place and be like, oh, it's just a hurricane. We about to, man, we about to get the beers, you about to get the generators, we about to chill. Like,
That sounds like a Florida thing too, bro.
all right, well, I'm just saying. So you talking about gas? Like the people that go get gas are the people that's leaving, or the people that's loading up to load up their generator.
Oh,
But
that's
most
what I'm
people,
saying for, yeah.
how many people? All right, that's another thing we got to talk about. How many people got generators? That costs money, and especially in
Yeah.
this economy.
No, bro, you right, because the generator we bought, I was like, yo, what? This is how much? Jesus. And it was a decent one. It wasn't even one.
That's what I'm saying,
It's
bro.
crazy out here, bro.
Yeah. So those are some of the things when we talk about being a homeowner. They say, right? We already brought up a generator. We done brought up a chainsaw, right? And I didn't even tell you. You gotta buy a hole. It's called a hole digger. That's like $60-$70 on its own. It's just a tool to dig a hole to put the fence post in. I had to buy fence posts. I had to buy the boards that go with the fence. I needed another sledgehammer. Bro, I had to buy so much stuff. If I would have used my homeowner's insurance, right? I think what's the word I'm looking for, bro? When you got to pay it first, the deductible.
Deductible, yeah.
Yeah, the deductible. I think the deductible would have been like $3,000, right? So, no, real talk, because it's homeowners insurance, bro. They're not gonna like, bro. Something has to be extremely damaged for them to pay out. So
Yeah.
instead of paying $3,000, you got to do the math. Okay, if I do this job myself, or I hire somebody to do the job. Shout out to my uncle and my cousin. The three of us, we knocked it out. We doing hard, but in order to do it myself, it came out to about $1,000 tops.
It's
So I
not
was
bad.
like, nah, we doing this ourselves. And then again, I had my uncle and my cousin with me, like saving grace, bro. They taught me how to use the chains because both of them they in construction. That really helped the brother out because I'm like, yo, I don't understand this stuff. I don't. This not what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel, but then again, I'm like, yo, this is man stuff, right? This is just me. I feel like this is man stuff. You supposed to know
Where's
this
my
stuff,
handle with? Yeah.
right? So that was my first time using the chainsaw, and bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I use that chainsaw like every other day now, bro. I just be out there just chainsaw the chainsaw, bro. I learned how to sharpen it, put the blade oil on it, how to set the tension, like all of that stuff, bro. It's a learning curve. But again, these are things you don't know when becoming a homeowner. Who tells you like, yo, you gotta have a
Facts.
chainsaw? Used to have a lawnmower. Mike know about this now, but that lawnmower, bro, it's like a little car. It's like you gotta keep it oil. You gotta change the spark
Bruh.
plug.
That's
Same
why
place.
I want electric. Funk that. I gotta
You
do
want
when it's
electric for the
electric. Oh,
lawnmower?
heck yeah.
There's gonna be a couple people judging you. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's cool. You gotta do what's best for your situation.
Y'all can judge me all y'all want. Man, I ain't got time to. I got time, but I ain't got time to be doing all that changing and whatnot. So something gotta give. Like I can't do everything by myself. So
Word.
that's the other thing when it comes to home ownership. You gotta realize what can you do, what can't you do. Do you have the time to do it, or do you not have the time to do it? So
And do you have the funds to pay somebody else to do it?
exactly.
Because a $300 job for somebody else to do it might cost you $50, but the time that you're gonna spend doing it is important. So cost and balance. All right. Anything else you want to talk about with these hurricanes, man?
Only thing is like when in new builds, this is back to new builds. In Florida, I think a lot of new builds, especially if you're in like a hurricane, some
Flood
a
zone.
hurricane area. No, not even the flood zone, just like a hurricane area. They build these houses now to have some type of blinds. Uh, um,
Oh, hurricane
incorporated.
shutters.
Yeah,
Okay.
they incorporated into everything. I'm not so and hear me. This is just from the house that I have. I'm not so sure if it's everyone, but our new builds they included it, and we have covers for the doors, all the windows, and I just have to get up on a ladder, put them up, screw them in, and it's like nylon, so it's not like it's bendable, but it's more resistant, so it push it back. So if it does come hit the window, it ricochets back and doesn't really touch our window at all. So
That's
yeah,
extremely important. It
yes.
sounds like Mike B got money over there because those are expensive. No, just
So no, that's what I'm saying though. It depends on who's building the house
right.
because like yeah, no. When I went and looked on my own how much that stuff costs, I'm like, yo, thank God this came with the build.
Man, man, that's money, y'all. And Mike is bringing up a great topic that people overlook: your house windows. That is not cheap. If a hurricane breaks that, if a tree comes through that, stuff like that, one, you gotta replace that, right? Two, two. This is the most important thing to me. Forget the money, bro. You gotta see if it's even in stock. Sometimes your window won't be in stock, fam. That means you got to put a board up in your window. I mean, we know about this in the hood, but you ain't never had to do it when you living in your common dwelling. That is crazy. To board up your own home and have to sit there with that. I had to do it. I had to wait, I think 2 months because I had a double. Yeah, bro. 2 months because the lawnmower chipped a rock and it broke the window. It wasn't a hurricane. Yeah.
Oh,
But see, there you
yo,
go.
no.
There you
Bruh,
go.
I'm with you. So, all right. So we're on the unforeseen track, but finish your window story, and I got you.
I
That's
mean, it's quick,
crazy.
man. The window shattered. It got us a double pane window, but it's still the outside of it shattered. There's nothing you could do with that. So we had to take it down, put the board up. They put the board up over the top of it. And then it took about 2 months, 2.5 months for them just to get it in stock. And then the brother had to come and put it up. I'm
That's
like, come on, man,
crazy.
this is nuts. But yes, Mike is talking about some real stuff right now, man. Foreseeing emergencies, man. Let's get into it, bro.
All right. So, folks, down in Florida, a lot of your piping and everything is on the outside of the house that connects you to the city and everything of that nature. So, my brother already mentioned it that we cut our own grass. Yes, we
Mm-hmm.
cut our own grass unless you got money for them to cut your grass. So I've been cutting my grass now for over 2 years. As you know, I have an electric lawnmower now. I have some electric and some gas products. Neighbor recently just gave me a weed whacker that was gas powered,
Hold
and
on,
I'm
hold on.
like,
Come
uh
on, come
huh,
on. The neighbor, you said your neighbor gave
yeah,
it? All
yeah.
right, y'all. Y'all, Mike got good neighbors. That's important. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead. Some of us ain't got good neighbors, dog. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying that the neighbor didn't need it anymore, and he ran his own landscaping business,
Mm.
but he not doing it anymore, and they have a full source that comes out and do it. So he's like, I don't need this. I know you cut your grass. Here you go. Boom. I was like, all right, cool. And he basically told me, yeah, you have a lot of fun with it. And of course, I did have a lot of fun
Of
with it because
course.
it was cutting the grass so chef's kiss. I use that thing religiously now. But the first time I used it, your brother got too close to the pipes.
No way.
So here's the crazy thing. In Florida, the pipes that connect into the ground from the house aren't metal. They're plastic. Yes, they're
What's the
plastic.
logic behind that?
I know it's something about Florida and things of that nature, but it's not metal. The ones in the ground, I believe, are metal, but the ones that come out and stick into the house are plastic. or PVC piping, whatever you.
Oh, okay. PVC piping. All right, because I was
Yeah,
like, what else they got? I was like, all
yeah,
right,
that's plastic PVC
yeah,
piping. Yeah.
yeah. It's easier to
So
be destroyed. Yes, for sure.
yes.
Hmm.
So your brother here, I'm like, all right, I just need to get the little area in between and around, and then I'll be gone. Went to those pipes.
With the weed whacker.
The weed whacker, bro.
Damn, what kind of weed whacker you got, bro?
It's gas powered. Gas powered stuff is crazy strong.
True.
So it broke it. Yo, when I'm telling you, I was in a state of panic because I'm like, oh, no. I'm not even thinking about, all right, how can I fix it? Well, I was thinking about how can I fix it? Is there a way for me to stop it? Can I hold it? Something. But also, I'm thinking about, yo, if this keep gushing, this dang water bill about to be astronomical. Like, what is going on? Because it's spewing. And when it's spewing, the meter goes.
Yeah.
Meter's running.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, when I tell you I was panicked for like 15, 20 minutes, I had to call. Listen. But no, it was panic for 15, 20 minutes because it's not like I wasn't doing stuff to try to turn it off and to get it fixed. No, I was trying to figure it out. I'm a new homeowner. My in-laws did the walkthrough with my wife here. I wasn't here. But even still, this is one of the few things during the walkthrough they ain't talk about. Where is my line to turn off the water from the city?
There you go. Talk about it.
So I'm calling the city to see where it was like, oh, it's probably by your mailbox. That's what they told me, that is probably by my mailbox, the water pipe. And I'm thinking like, that don't make no sense to me because there ain't no tanks or anything by my mailbox. I know where my mailbox is.
He was looking for a tank.
No. It's not even looking for tank. I'm like, I don't see any like the pipes running in it. So I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, what? There's not even no sewer over there. What are you talking about? By the mailbox. Because your brother's smart and I pay attention to certain stuff, I see the little markings on the ground that says water. It's blue, labeled blue. And you have little boxes because you have the electrical boxes and everything that's all on the ground. Yep. I'm like, yo, it gotta be up here somewhere. Gotta be up. I'm like, what's? So my wife calls her father, called father-in-law. Father-in-law, he's trying to remember if they told him, and he couldn't remember at the time. I'm looking for the stuff in the house or the book to figure out what it is because I'm like, I just need to turn off this water so we can just diagnose what the problem is and get it fixed. She calls one of our friends who's in construction, building homes and whatnot. He comes, he tells, and he points me right to where I suspected where the water line was. You know what the water people tried to tell me? Don't call it. Just let you know, do not call your city water because they're gonna charge you to come out to turn off your own water.
Of course,
you can do it by yourself, and they're gonna charge like $45 each time.
Yep.
For no reason. All I have to do was get a certain type of plier and turn the knob in front of my house to turn it off. Or if it was properly explained to me and my in-laws and my wife, the line to the house is right next to the hose. You just have to turn it. Just shut it off.
It's two of them. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, be a homeowner, they said. I'm like, I wish this stuff was explained in the beginning. Like, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that was explained. The stuff with the hurricane windows and doors and everything. They explained of the appliance and the warranty of if I see any structural cracks in the house, tiles, anything that's wrong in the rooms because it was a new build. Anything that was improperly done, they had to come and fix. But ain't no one talked to me about the dang water pipe, which would have saved me so much time and stress within the 15, 30 minutes.
Facts.
And then come to find out, calling, talking to people, city, oh, you're going to need a plumber come out, fix that. That's going to cost you probably about $300-400, maybe $500 for someone to come out. If they come out after hours, I'm like, yo,
I ain't trying to spend no $500 right now. That's a bill. We all know that's a bill, and
Mm-hmm.
I ain't. Nah, we ain't shutting that out. Luckily, our friend, since he was in construction, knew how to fix it. We went to Home Depot, spent about $40, came home and fixed it within freaking 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. But of course, we had the one issue of how do we turn the water back on, not realizing that we kept the valve off from the house instead of the street line. It was still off.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to turn it back on.
Turn it back on. But the thing is, we didn't realize that was the valve for the house. It wasn't until the next day later when we realized, you know what? We had something still off.
Mm-hmm.
My wife turned it off because we're trying to turn everything off just to make sure. Unforeseen circumstances when you're not prepared.
Word. Word. I got a small one. I'm not gonna take up a bunch of time with this. We had a winter freeze, and the pool line, water line bust. That's what it was. Yeah,
What?
yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, I had brought up a topic when we was talking about the relationships. I forgot what it was. Relationships, marriage, double down. I think it was when I was talking about, hey, your relationship is a pool, stuff like that. This is where I got that concept from. Seriously, bro. I was sitting outside and my pool water line bust, man. I'm just like, yo, bro, things we don't discuss, things we don't talk about. So water has to move in order for it to stay blue. Or, I know people argue. I mean, they're like, oh, it's supposed to be clear. We're not here to argue that, bro. For the sake of a pool, whether it's a saltwater pool or regular pool, it's supposed to be blue. That's how you know the chemicals in there is cleaning. But during a winter storm, hurricane, hot days, it doesn't matter. The water has to move. If your water ever sits at a standstill, it starts to add bacteria, algae. That's when frogs come and all type of septic things happen with your system. If your water line busts to your pool, the pool's gonna stop. You feel me? Because there's just water coming out nonstop. So I had to hurry up and try to tape that up with some black. That wasn't working. You know me. I'm just sitting. I tried to
Just
put
did it, fix it.
hey. So I'm like, all right, nah. And then I ran into the same situation that Mike ran into. I'm like, yo, where's the water line? But the difference between me and Mike is very much so the guy that he's going to, it happens and then he go, oh snap, and he go figures it out. Justice is too much of a 2029 person. I already know where everything got. I already worry about stuff like that before the door. So I was like, all right, I know the house got the shut off water line. Boom. Turned that off. Came back. I started taking the piece apart because, again, I'm just one of those people. I want to know stuff. I want to know how to do stuff on my own. So I started taking it apart. Realized that the piece that I needed was cracked. So I'm like, ain't nothing I can do with this. Mike, you know what I did?
What you do?
Cut a corner, man. I had an old water line, like a pipe thing in there. It's called a ball joint valve. I had an old one left over in there, put it on there, welded it on there, man. And that lasted about like a year and a half. Then it cracked again. It's my fault. I was cutting corners. I already knew. Then I was like,
At least it lasted a year, though.
Yeah, you put a little time on it. But I was like, after this, I was like, yo, enough. And finally hired somebody. Man, dog, ask me how much the bill was. $275 for my man to come. I purchased a part, by the way. I purchased a new part off of Amazon. For him to take my part that I gave him, to take off the piece, to put it back on, to weld it himself, and to give me a warranty. That's what I paid for. It burnt my soul. It burnt my soul. $275 for him to do what I just did, but just with a new part. The only difference was I got that 1 year warranty. And that right there, I'm going to tell millennials, anybody, it may not mean nothing, but it mean everything to have that 1 year warranty.
Yo, warranty is your friend with a lot of stuff, bro. People don't be knowing. People don't be knowing. That warranty come in clutch.
Right. Warranties are your friend when you being a homeowner, okay? Briefly, I don't think either one of us like HOAs. Correct?
I'm in one now. No,
Yeah.
definitely don't.
Yeah,
Definitely don't.
I don't understand. Okay, let me take it back. I understand why they were created, the positive side of it. You know, that you want to keep the aesthetic of the neighborhood going, things like that. But bro, I think in the current times that we live in, the economics, the things that's happening to us in life, who is really listening to HOAs? And what is the purpose of them? Because you're paying every year for them to tell you what to do, what not to do. But then you go down the street and you see people still not listening. Trash all over the yards. They parking in the yard. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Now, don't get me wrong. That's not all HOAs. Some HOAs do be on point. But then the ones that do be on point, they be taking it too far. Like the mic situation. I do want you to talk about this. With your grass, bro. It's grass. How AI say, we talking about practice. We talking about grass, bro. Not the
Bruh,
yard. Not the yard. We talking about a patch of
grass.
grass.
Yeah. So for you listeners, I'm gonna give you a little rundown. I have St. Augustine grass. It's one of the type of grass that everyone uses down here. Some people use Bermuda. Some people use, I forget the other type of grass, but it's like one of three, one of four different grass. And with St. Augustine grass, I've come to learn that it doesn't have seeds, and that will be important for this full story. But with St. Augustine grass and grass, period, with living out here in Florida, fungus can happen with your grass if you're not properly treating it on a regular with pest control and all that good stuff and giving it nutrients and watering it the amount of times that it needs for the week. And so, St. Augustine grass, one thing is known: if you're not properly treating it or taking care of it, or it just happens, it will get fungus in certain seasons. Particularly the colder seasons into the summer seasons when the seasons are changing. And fungus would develop. If you treat it quickly, it won't spread and you knock it out. But also, you got to pay attention to if you're doing it or if you got a pest control company come and taking care of your grass, meaning treating it wise. And to me, we had this one company who was basically telling us, "Oh, it's dry. That's from the dog piss. Oh, it's gonna come back as long as you just keep doing this, keep doing that." Your boy Mike was doing that for probably about 2 to 4 months, and then I started to realize, I'm like, "Yo, something's not right because it might get better." It's looked like this thing is getting a little bit bigger. And by the time I noticed that it was getting bigger, that's when the HOA comes and starts to take pictures.
Did you feel violated?
Bruh, violated. Man, listen, I'm like, y'all don't see me trying to keep this grass green. You don't see me sprinkling this stuff all over. Like, yo, y'all can talk about this patch all you want, but I am doing the necessary steps. You see that I'm doing the necessary steps, but it's not being done as quickly as you guys would like. That's the thing about HOAs that get on my nerves. So your boy here had to switch companies, got a better company now that's taking care of my grass. And no, it's still gonna take time for the grass to come back. But what I end up having to do is I had to relocate some of the grass from other areas and place it there and then put topsoil on top for it to take and grow in so it can start filling up the area, which I've done. And I probably have to move a couple more pieces to get into some other spaces because the grass is growing again and growing back. Just want to add it a little bit faster because I don't need no one on my back, HOA. All right. And so another thing with the HOA, with the grass, I don't know if I told you about this. So we don't have a fence fully around our yard, right? We have the fence in the back that they put up. Cool. We didn't put the fence around because, my mother-in-law and wife like to see the view of everything. Son, it's fine. If you have that fence, it'll block some of that view, whatever. Cool. The HOA, whoever the guy is that comes and looks at the yard, happens to notice that after I cut the grass, I didn't finish my edging. Because when I was cutting the grass, it began to rain. Took a picture of the back corner, sent it to us, and says you need to maintain your grass. You have 30 days to respond.
No, that's crazy, bro. Not
If
with your
they
high
can,
powered trimmer.
if you can see it, they can say it. Because if I had a fence, they couldn't say anything.
Yeah, that's real.
HOAs, guys. HOAs.
Most important takeaway, y'all. I need y'all to understand something. HOAs are not these big power companies or organizations. Yeah, they are owned by these big power organizations and companies, but the people that conduct these HOA inspections, these visits, these are your neighbors. The HOA board is consisting of people that live in your
Yes.
community.
And here's the funny thing. So I happen to be in one of the HOA meetings, right? And I don't
Oh,
care.
okay. That's like, yo, bro, that's epic. Some people don't even go. So props.
No. I know people don't go. I have to tell some of my other neighbors, I'm like, yo, y'all going? One goes, the other one doesn't. But I still can count on maybe a hand, maybe two, who goes to these meetings. The rest of them folk, I know over half, probably about 75% don't even go.
That's facts.
All right. And on this meeting, I heard the person who runs the HOA outside who doesn't live here, for the company and whatnot, and then the board. You know what they said to the board members? If you see a violation and it comes from you, it's a violation. If they see it. So if they happen to see over you, so let's say you live next to the HOA president and they have a 2-story house and you have a 1-story, still have a fence and everything, but you're not taking care of your backyard and it looks like the Amazon jungle. If he see it, he can tell the person and you can get a violation.
Wow.
I didn't know HOAs had that power like that.
Yeah, a little bit too much for me, for my liking.
Yeah.
A little bit too much. Seriously, man. Because if I'm in my backyard and I want to build something over my pool, you know what I mean? Like rich ass Florida, where y'all got the pool coverings, right? I'm still salty about that. But if I want to build one.
But the funny thing is, I think that's like a requirement for certain households and pools down here in Florida.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm salty about that. I'm salty about that. But I'm just saying, if I want to do something like that, it's an 8 out of 10 chance I got to go through the HOA. It's in my backyard. Why I got to go through y'all? HOAs, ladies and gentlemen, that is something that y'all got to deal with. Do we have HOAs in Patterson? We don't.
I don't know. No. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. In Patterson per se, I don't know. Honestly, in Patterson per se, I don't know. But I would not be shocked if there is a board, because I'm pretty sure there's a board on the east side part of town, east side park part of.
Now listen, I'm gonna get real ignorant with you for a second, and I'm not talking about ignorant as I don't know, but I'm talking about the definition that the hood uses. Okay, you know damn well I ain't talking about them, bro. I'm talking, when I say Patterson, I'm talking about up the hill and down the hill. They don't count. They are East Side Park. You know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm not talking about West Patterson. I'm not talking about South Patterson, bro. I'm not talking about Wabash Ave. I'm not talking about none of that shit.
Not you throwing that Wabash down.
I'm talking about up the hill, down the hill. I don't think we got no HOAs. You would have to.
No, those are. If you actually remember, some of those housing areas are low income housing too. Most people don't realize that they are. So yeah.
Right. I would say HOAs are more so reserved for gated communities and suburban communities.
Correct.
Which they call established communities now. So just something to think about. When you get in a home, when you want to buy a home, figure out, are you okay with an HOA or do you want to get away from an HOA? And you got to also understand, with not having an HOA, it's a high chance that your neighbors will be wilding out. They might be wilding out anyway. We're going to get into that in a second. But also, if you don't have an HOA, it's a high chance you live in a rural community. Like, it's a big space between you and your neighbors. Then that introduces, field. That field got to be cut. Then you got field mice and hawks and all this other stuff. So it's pros and cons with all of it. It's pros and cons
Facts.
with all of it.
Facts.
Real quick, air filters, air maintenance, man. I just want to get this out there. I talked about this briefly last season and the season before that too, man. Listen, when you become a homeowner, even if you're not a homeowner, change the AC filter.
Yep. Speaking of, I gotta go do mine after this.
You gotta change the thing every 3 to 4 months. Change it.
Nah, I do mine every month, bro.
You can. I mean, that's cool, but I feel like if you're doing it every month, you got a newborn or something like that, or you have somebody that has asthma or something like that.
Well,
Otherwise, 3 to
my
4 is
wife
cool.
used to have asthma.
See that, and that makes sense for you to change it every
And then
month.
I tend to have indoor allergies, so I have to keep.
See, so all right, let's say this then: you have allergies, you are allergic to certain things. Change it every month. For
And if you have an animal,
yes, no, an animal is 2 months, but if you are like the rich ass Bennett's, change it every month.
first of all, I am not rich. Don't do this.
But nah, like we're stating it, man. Dog, pets, allergies, anything that can be in the air, that's not usual. Change it every month. I'm with Mike B on that one. But for most people that's not going through those things, you should be good every 2 to 4 months to change it. I know that Febreze and Glade have things you can spray on that to make it smell good and stuff like that. But get up there and change it.
Question. So with your AC, well, you have central air, right?
Yeah.
Okay. With your AC unit, do you have the little pipe going outside the house that drips?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys, that you need to make sure you suck out or pour vinegar in every 3 months to make sure it's clear and is not gucky or anything in that nature. For that, that's also part of the AC.
Right. Where's yours located?
Mine is, the funny thing is, right next to the water line pipe, right next to the outside hose. So I know where that's at. That I was.
So you have an attic that you got to go into? That's where your unit is?
No. So I don't have an attic. No, my unit is in the new builds. I learned this also, guys. In the new builds, if you have an AC unit on the floor, you may tend to have irregulations of the temperatures in certain rooms.
Okay.
When you have the AC unit on the floor, when the AC unit is up above, it evens out a little bit better from what I've learned and what I've been told. My father actually moved down here. He actually has a new build, and his is upstairs, and his house is a lot more even kill than mine. Mine, one room could be very hot, the other room is very cold, the other one chill, and that's what I learned about AC units. But mine is on the ground near the laundry room.
Okay. All right. So you're talking about the fan,
So like the whole vent thing.
the unit. Okay. All right. So
Oh
you know
no. Oh, you talking about like the fan that be outside?
that's the unit. Yeah.
No, that's outside. That's in the back.
Right.
That's in the back. But I'm talking about the actual vent system where all the air flows through.
The furnace and all of that stuff. So where is that at?
Yeah, that's in the house.
Okay.
That's near the laundry room. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Because mine is in the attic. So I gotta every time I change the filter, I gotta go up into that.
Yeah, like I said, you have 2 stories. I'm 1 story.
Right. So that's what I'm asking. Where's yours at?
Yeah, it's literally near the laundry room.
And you just open it and it's right there.
Yeah, there's another door to it. It's like closed off from everywhere else, of course. And then I go into that room, I screw it and slide it out and put in a new filter.
All right. So
I'm about to go.
yeah, this is where I go into my second part. I still have my youth with me, so I have no problem climbing the attic. Think Home Alone, the attic that pull out. That's exactly how. Cause Mike is in a new build. I'm in a 19-something home, so that is a difference, right?
Yeah.
I have to climb into the attic. I gotta turn the furnace. I gotta turn the AC unit off as a whole. Then I gotta open the furnace up. That's what they call it. And you gotta pull out the filter, and then you gotta put a new filter in, and then I gotta push it in. That sounds easy, But that process right there will take me about 2-3 minutes because you gotta level it to where it's perfect. I can't explain it, man. It's annoying. It's
You have
annoying.
to turn your unit off?
Yeah. Yo, wait, hold
Wow.
on. Come on. You're not turning your unit off when you change your filter?
I don't have to.
Why?
I just don't.
What you mean? What kind of filter?
You know, it's like it looks like a filter, like a car filter, right? Like one of the car.
But is it big?
And mine's a square. It's 20 by
That's
20.
why. You just have you just taking it out and you putting it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I got an actual like it's like a think of a what is that? An accordion?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
My filter is like that. It comes open and yes, I gotta turn the whole AC system off. I gotta go up into this hot attic.
Oh, that's a whole different animal right there. Oh, technology. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So I gotta get up there, get it in. So because I have my youth working with me, it works. But it's something I gotta think about. As I get older, I might have to pay somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not though, because they say black don't crack and you still get your energy in your youth. So I don't know. We'll see. Just gotta take care of myself. But that's things you gotta consider. All right.
Yeah.
As you get older with your home, do you need more home? Do you need less home? All of that. All right. I don't think we got to spend too much time with this time versus money. We already spoke about it. If you got the time and you don't feel like you want to, if you got the time to do it and you just want to learn it, go for it. That's how I am. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm getting older, as I'm getting super busy, I just may not have the time to do it, and I might have to pay somebody else to do it. I'm not a good example of that because I'm always going to make the time to take care of my home because I just enjoy taking care of my home. So it's going to be a long time before I just pay somebody. Something really, really got to be wrong with the house for me to pay somebody. That's just how I am. But you just got to balance out time versus money. Anything you want to speak to about that, bro?
I will say you hear me do a lot of the stuff in my house myself. Pest control, I do have them buy because I'm not spending all that money to buy all the actual products to constantly spray my grass, especially with the grass that I. So yeah, that I won't pay for, but I will cut my own grass. I try to do that weekly in the summer and then bi-weekly to 3 weeks on off-peak season. But when it's really cold, monthly, because my grass don't grow that fast when it gets that cold. Plumbing, it's a hit or miss. It depends on what it is. If you can do it by yourself, do it. I say. If you can't and you really need a plumber, go get that plumber because you want it done right. Construction, same thing. If it's something minute, a little crack, a little hole in the wall, and you just gotta fill it in, yeah, you could do it yourself. But if it's structural, make sure you go check your warranty first and then go get somebody. So time versus money, people. Time versus money.
Right, that part. I won't be long-winded on solicitors. Just know I don't rock with y'all. I don't like y'all. I get it. Make your money. Do what you got to do. But if the community has a no soliciting sign and you still try to come solicit, don't be upset when homeowners start spazzing on you. That's all I got to say. That's all. Okay. All right. This is important, and we may clash on this. I'm not sure. Yo, when you going on a vacation longer than 3 days, this is just my opinion. Longer than 3 days, turn your water off and set your AC to away if you have that option. If not, set it lower than what it needs to be or higher than what it needs to be, pardon me, so you can save money on your bills. And most importantly, the reason why, because Mike looking at me crazy right now, the reason why I'm telling you to turn your water off if you leave past 3 days is because you don't want to come home and your water heater is busted. Now, the chances of that are super low. But I've talked to homeowners that has happened to. You can't control when the water heater goes out. So I had asked my father about this. I was like, yo, when you know it's time for the water heater to be changed? He said, haha. He started laughing. I'm like, what is so funny about that, Pops? And I said, yo. And he was like, you'll know when it's done. He said, it'll be leaking. I said, hold on. Only way to know that the water heater is going out is if it's just
leaking.
Water all over the place. He was like, pretty much. He says water all over the place. Or he said, if you're lucky, you won't have hot water. And that'll be a telltale sign. Either that, hey, the gas is off, or you got a gas leak, or your water heater's going out. And I was like, yo, no, these are things people don't talk about.
What?
Yeah.
I was constantly wondering that too. I was
How you
wondering
know?
that. All right, good to know. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
But turning certain stuff off at vacation, no, I'm with you. The water, I ain't doing that.
After 3 days, if you go, bro, we was gone for like almost a week. We gotta turn that water off, dog.
Nah, we have a sprinkler system. I can't turn it off.
Man, that grass would be okay, bro.
Nah,
You gotta turn that water off, bro.
no. I don't think you understand Florida grass, bro. It
Talk.
ain't gonna be okay.
Nah, and you feel it's gonna burn?
Bruh, you don't give that grass enough water, your grass is kaput. It will start to die.
It's only a couple of days, man. Go ahead.
Now with the HOA I got,
You're right. You're right. They disrespectful.
so I can't turn off the water. So that's one thing. But I do understand turning off appliances. That's one thing my wife is very good about reminding me when we were leaving for a while. Make sure I plug out all my computer stuff.
Yeah.
We don't want no electrical fire or anything to happen while we're gone.
So let's talk about this great fence debate, bro. That's what I call it anyway. It's not that big of a deal, but
Yeah.
it's big of a deal to me. I don't know if you got to deal with this. You and your neighbor sharing a fence, but depending on if it's the nice side or the ugly side, that is in Texas, that tells you whose fence it is. Yeah. So the nice side is the flat, smooth side of the fence. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Wood fence. I'm talking about a wood fence.
Wood fence. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about a wood fence. So the flat side is the post side, baby. The beautiful side that people are used to seeing. Mm-hmm. On the other side of the fence, I don't know if people pay attention to this, there's boards and, you know, it looks wonky. If you have that side on your fence, it's not your fence. It's just on your fence line.
So if you have the board.
Just say the ugly one or the pretty one.
The ugly side.
Right. It's not your fence.
It's not your fence.
In Florida, and I mean in Texas. I'm only talking about in Texas.
That's crazy. It might be true in Florida too, who has wooden fence. But a lot of places I've seen don't have wooden fence.
Right. They got those white fences, right?
Yeah. So you can't tell whose it is. Yeah.
No, there's no inside of the fence.
Bro, when I'm telling you, the fences that they use here is slots. So they slide in and out.
That's
so
it?
So you can't tell whose fence it is.
Oh.
The only way you know who fences is when someone doesn't have a fence versus someone having a fence.
Oh. That's a survey nightmare. Oh, that's the other thing we got to talk about real quick. Surveyor. People don't talk about that enough. Where does your property line start and end? That is supposed to be in the inspection, but you still need a surveyor on the side.
So here's a trick in Florida that I've learned. Go look at where your water line is, and technically go look at where the electrical box is on the ground. That's normally your property line.
Wait, y'all electrical boxes on the ground?
Yeah, because we don't have trees, because all the hurricanes and stuff. We can't have them in the trees and stuff.
Oh.
Everything is run underneath the ground.
Lucky. Nah, we don't have that.
Like, we'll still have the main ones on the street that's been there, but when you come to new builds in the houses and whatnot, all those lines are on the ground. Internet, everything.
So which title you want to take? SAB or RAB? Which one you like better?
What does those mean? Hold up.
Sophisticated ass business or rich ass business? Which one you want, bro?
I can't stand you. We go sophisticated because I ain't rich.
Sophisticated ass business.
Because I ain't rich, bruh. I ain't rich. Trust me. If I was rich, man, listen. That's all I'm going to say.
Sir, our electric boxes, because we are still in the Stone Ages, are on the side of our home.
No. So, no, you're talking about the way where the power, you flick on and off. No, those are still on the side of the house. I'm talking about like the actual lines that run into the ground that usually run on like the poles.
Ours is still connected to the poles. That's what I'm saying. We still got poles.
Yeah, I know you still got poles, but it's not running underneath the ground or anything.
It's running underneath the ground to go to a bigger pole that got a bunch of wires that are connected, multiple generators, because we're on a grid, which I'm going to get to that in a second.
Okay,
Because Texas has its own electric source. We're a grid. We have our own grid. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's night and day.
The great fence debate, though. The only great fence debate. The only thing about the great fence debate is who's going to pay for what. And
that's why I said it's got to be on your side.
No, see, here's the thing. You talking about specific wooden fence. When it comes to the white plastic joints, if y'all both getting fence, it's better for you guys to work together so you can split the cost. And but from what I've known and I understood, more times than not, people will do that. But if it's a new build and people can't wait for other people who got it like that, it's like, yeah, bunk that. I'm just gonna put it up.
You need a surveyor, because if there's no surveyor and you put that fence up and it's on your neighbor's property line, you're in for the world of pain.
That's why I also said the water line and the electric line is a thing down here. It shows you whose house is where. So the thing is, you can't put the fence on the water line. So if the water line is directly in the middle of the property line, you have to build the fence on your side and give up part of your land to the other side. So technically, right now, some of our, on the right side of our house, if you're looking at it, and you look at the fence, some of that land is theirs. Not ours. But since how the fence had to go up, it's part of our yard.
So y'all both own the fence because it's technically on both of y'all.
Oh, no. The fence is on their property. It's not both of our fence. But it doesn't look like it's not both of our fence, if you get what I'm saying. But because we don't have a fence, it does.
So if that fence goes, they're on the hook, not you.
Oh, yeah. Nothing with us.
But so that also means you can't do anything to the fence.
Yeah.
Because it's not your fence.
Yeah, but why would I do anything? The only thing I have to do with that fence is make sure it's clean because it's on my side.
Your side of the fence has to be clean. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, homeownership can get weird. Okay.
Yep. Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
All right. I want to talk about neighbors. Let's. So Mike obviously has decent neighbors. It sounds like. Mm-hmm. Okay. Half of my neighbors are cool, and the other half I don't deal with, and I think that's why I really need to get into this topic for people. Growing up where we grew up from, you knew your neighbors because it's close proximity. Everybody knows everybody, even if you don't want to be known. Your parents are known. Whoever you are, you're known, right? Once upon a time, I can't speak about now. Once upon a time, the way we was raised. So for me to go from that to this it was a culture shock. Like I said, I moved in. People weren't exactly the friendliest, even though Texas is known for being friendly. But there were
Southerners, period.
Right, they're known for that. But another thing is they're different cultures and different types of cultures within a culture, so subcultures. And I think that me and this individual just got off to the wrong foot. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it because the individual may be listening to it. I really don't give a F because we really don't rock like that. But just for the sake of people that may know people and things like that, it's no need. But me and him got into it about a situation, like really got into it to a point we was about to throw hands. And we haven't been okay since then. And this is literally my direct next door neighbor. But my other direct next door neighbor is my dude. So, you know what I mean?
So what's the situation? Come on, I need to hear the rest of this.
Without doing too much, I just had pressure wash my driveway, and a buddy took it upon himself maybe the day after or the next 2 days. The way his backyard is, in order for him to get into his backyard from the outside, he has to open his fence, but his fence kind of goes towards my driveway. It's really weird how they did it because we got a bunch of space in our backyards. We got big damn near a quarter acre of land, but just the way they did that opening was weird because he technically can't get a truck through there without coming on my property because his AC unit is there too. So it's like, I don't even know why they built it like that. But my thing is, come to me if it's gonna be that. So basically, I had pressure washed the driveway, and he had a dually, and he ran the dually through there, right? Which ain't no problem. He wasn't on my property. He went through the grass. He messed up our grass, our shared his grass. I'm not one of them
He's
people.
gonna grow back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The problem was when he came out. When he came out, instead of going back through the grass, he beelined it straight down my driveway. I'm talking about like from the top, from his where he was at, straight through the very top of my driveway, and it was just mud and tire skirts all the way down my driveway. Everybody that know me, or even if you don't know me, I got a compound, which means there's cameras all over my house. There's guns all over the place. Like if you coming in here for damage, you gonna come out of here damaged and on a stretcher. If you coming in here with love, it's gonna be peace and love, and you're gonna be protected because I got so much stuff here. You know what I'm saying? He found out that day. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave that where that's at. Like, I stepped outside. We had choice words, and wherever he wanted to take it is where I was willing to take it, and he understood that. And ever since that day, I'm pretty sure he told his family because now his family see me, they'll roll their eyes, and I'll just be like, bro, you know me, man. I'm real peaceful until I'm not. So I'm quick to be like, what's the problem? You got a problem? Like, y'all good? Da-da-da. Everybody keep it moving. I'll have family events. His people will be staring at my people, and bro, some of my people will now rap too tight. So they be like,
oh yeah, I know.
They got a problem. I'll be like, yo, it's cool. Don't you know what I mean? It's just it's unnecessary. It's just like that's just bad taste. It's bad neighbors. It is what it is. And for me, I don't have a problem to this day. Today, I think the biggest issue that I had was when we first moved here. We didn't even really need a favor. It's just that the way that the line was for our electric. I mean, the internet. We was trying to establish new internet, and they wasn't letting us go in. Not us, but the people. That's why I'm like, yo, how do you block the businesses from doing what they're supposed to do? You have the line for the electric and the internet. You have to let these people in your backyard. So they blocked the people from the backyard to a point where we was about to get the courts involved. And I'm like, you know me, bro. I'm like, man, we're not getting no courts involved, bro. Let's find another way to do this, bro. Because if I do this the way I want to do this, bro, we're going to get this line back here. That got settled. That's why I got introduced to the other neighbor. Other neighbor was like, no, you don't have to do that. I ran into the same issue with them. I'm like, so this is a reoccurring thing with these people? I'm like, come on, bro. Like, ain't nobody going to, you know what I mean? I'm like, where's the HOA when you need them? You know what I mean? But you know me, bro. I'm not hitting no HOA up. Oh, help me. I'm like, bro, I'm not even built like that. So I brought the drama I was going to bring the drama to his doorstep. But after talking to my wife, talking to the other neighbor, they was like, nah, this is what I did. So we did that route. But that to happen after, to move, bro, right? And to deal with that stupidness, right? And then to go, I don't know, let's say 7-8 months later, and for me to start taking pride in my home, I had to buy a power washer, electric, for those of y'all that care. For me to buy,
got one of those too.
Right. For me to buy a power washer and to do my whole driveway. Listen, bro, when you get to my house, bro, you're going to see it.
No, you've been to my house.
Right.
Look, power wash the back porch and the front. You already know.
Right.
Come on, man.
So it's a long ass driveway. That means you out there for 2 hours, damn near power. You taking pride in your home for somebody to come and disrespect your home. Yeah, it's a little different, bro. You know what I mean? It hit a little different, man.
I get you. But you know what? That's funny. That's funny that you say that with the neighbor thing, because we have that little area to the left side of the house where people can park. And it's technically not ours, but people think it's ours. It's not. But our neighbors are always courteous. They always let us know someone's coming there. But like, if it's maybe one car, like the neighbor directly right next to us, they'll like have family. Like most of their family would try to park in front of their house perfectly fine. But one car will park to the left over there ever so often. Or they let, oh yeah, we're just parking over there because, we have work being done on the house and whatnot. I'm like, they let me know. Neighbors across the street. We're wondering if you can have people. I'm like, we tell them all the time that this is not our spaces. This is for the community. It just happened to be by our house. But if you need it, go ahead. You're fine. And like this time they have people trying to park. I'm like, no, you can park there. Like our neighbors are courteous because they don't want to just park in front of our house or just park anywhere for us to see and be like, oh, they be like, no, we're having a party. And I'm like we normally don't have to tell anyone when we're having stuff because it's right there by us anyway. But it's no problems, really. So I get what you're saying. Being courteous, I definitely get what you're saying.
It's a dying love.
Yeah,
being courteous is a dying love.
Yeah. Like, one other thing. So like, our neighbors have kids, right? And they have dogs. The toys in the backyard. They got the fence, so stuff go over the fence because the kids throw them over the fence. We know they throw stuff over the fence all the time. We have no problems with them just coming through. They're getting their toys. We ain't got no fence. Y'all not doing nothing wrong. Y'all just getting what y'all do over the fence. You're good. I have no issues. So, yeah, people get uptight about stuff like that.
Oh, 100%.
You're on my yard. That's now, all Mike, I got to say.
Now, Mike, I think that's what me and you differ. I am one of those neighbors. You will be met with force if you in my backyard without me knowing. 100.
But no. But the thing, I think here's a difference though. I don't have a fence around my backyard. So.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, I can understand that they come in real quick, grab their toy and be gone because I have no fence. If I had a fence, it's a different issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We on the same page. Okay.
Yeah. No, if I had a fence, it's a different issue. No.
Okay. All right. I gotta settle this. We we low key go through this on the East Coast too, but we have no claim to it. All right. People parking in front of your house. Listen. Let me settle this for everybody that's listening. I've looked up the laws, right? For the most part, in almost every state, you have no claim to the street. It doesn't matter if it's your house. You have no claim to the street. The street is public. So if somebody wants to park in front of your house, they can. The only thing they can't do is impede your mailbox and impede your driveway. Impede means they cannot block it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If they are blocking your driveway or if they are blocking a fire hydrant or 50 feet from a fire hydrant?
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If they're too close to a fire hydrant, blocking the driveway and blocking your mailbox, then you have the right to have a tow company take their vehicle at their expense. They would have to pay for it. So there's that. But I need y'all to stop tripping when people have parties and stuff like that. These people can park in front of your house. I'm saying because I used to be a part of that issue. Like, yo, why you parking in front of my house?
But the funny thing is, though, it goes back to what I was saying. As long as you tell me, I'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
Party, I know you're going to need space.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell me and just do it because you think you could do it.
Yeah.
No type of respect.
I'm being real with you, bro. It sounds like you have a nice community of neighbors. They still got their thought processes about them. And I'm not being nice when I say that. I'm being dead ass serious. They still got their thought processes about them. They still got a little bit of common sense, whatever that means in this age. And I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of my neighbors, man, they not, it's just, it's not there. The love ain't there for your neighbor, love thy neighbor. It's really not there. And that is going to take me to my next thing, bro. Seriously, watching the environment around you either go to shit or boost in the type of people that are living there.
Facts.
What do I mean by that?
Facts.
So if you live in an affluent community, right, and you start to see non-desirables, as some people would say, moving in, what does that look like? That looks like people that don't take care of their house. They park on their grass. The HOA don't do nothing about it. Their grass is super high. You're not used to that in that community. That means your house value now goes down. If your house value goes down, what did I pay all this money for? You always want your house value to go up. Yeah. So a lot of the times, I find myself in that situation because I moved to a community that was like quiet. It was a sleepy town. even though I'm in Houston, I'm on the outskirts. Like I'm not around the BS. I want to be around older people. That's just how I wanted it. I wanted to be around people that have families and people that were like in retirement. So it's certain things I'm expecting, and I got it for like the first 2 years. And then I guess I don't know if these people started passing away or they just started moving right after the pandemic, stuff like that.
I hear what you're saying.
And so the people that either started renting, and this is the difference between renting and home ownership, either the people that started renting these homes or finding a way to buy these homes, they don't have the same love and compassion for these homes. And a lot of the times what I'm starting to pay attention to, all the homeowners, even though you may not like the way they do things, they still take care of their property. But
Mm-hmm.
the renters, this is where it gets nasty. The renters, they just have this mentality, and I'm not trying to generalize everybody because everybody ain't like that. There are some great renters. I used to be a great renter, right? I used to take care of the rental like it was my house. But there are
Mm-hmm.
just some renters that they don't either understand or they just don't care,
Yeah.
and they do whatever they please. And when you mix renters and homeowners together, now that I'm a homeowner, bro, I understand why they be flipping out. Why they like, oh, I don't want no rental properties around me. I get it. I get it. Because they don't value the block that they live on. They just do stupidness and you got the parties going on nonstop. It's like you don't care about your
Mm-hmm.
neighbor. Cause like I'm renting here. I don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you see that in your community at all? It don't sound like you do.
I see original homeowners that don't take
Right.
care of the house here, which is crazy to me. And I've been here 2 years, and I'm pretty sure most of the houses are only like three years old at most. Um, and I see people who take care of the houses, and people who don't take care of houses. But then again, when you see the families, you can understand why people don't take care of houses. Sometimes they have a little one, so they don't have the time and effort. So they're not paying for landscaping, and they do it themselves. So it may take them a little time to get to it.
Yeah.
And you see those families, you understand those.
Yeah,
But then
that's
you
that's
see,
effective.
yeah, and then you have those other ones where you never see the owner. You see their car, it's here one moment, gone the next, and then their house look like shambles. Um, but I can honestly say within the last 2 years, I've seen a whole bunch of families come and go in this community, shockingly, surprisingly. Um, one, because I know ones are renters and others were house were being bought and whatnot. But I can honestly say the families that have been coming in and whatnot, they're wholesome. Uh, I'm gonna say it's a little bit balanced because they look like me. That's all I'm gonna say with that. Because when I originally came, I seen a bunch of other folks. Then of course see Indians, and I saw one or two other black individual owners. But we have a lot more colored folks now, Hispanic, all over the place. Which we have a nice little decent community, man. I can't front. Like people say hi to each other. People walk their dogs. People have their kids. Kids say hi. Kids get shy. No one's like abrasive. If anything, we really try to keep our community. I just wish that our previous HOA, because the HOA president, the original HOA president, moved. If
Mhm.
he was here, he was trying to implement stuff for the community come together. This current HOA president hasn't tried, because I would love to do a community barbecue, show
I
these
think
people
that'd be
how
nice.
Jamaicans get down with the grill. Stop playing with me, because boys good on the grill back there. But haven't done that. We haven't had those big community events that I'd like to see. That's the only downfall, but I definitely get all what you're saying, bro. Every single last one of that.
So out of let's say 40 houses in your neighborhood, let's say that, right? And
Uh-huh.
then we don't got to be exact. Let's just say
Yeah,
out of 40 houses,
it's no, you close to the number. Uh-huh.
how many black families are there?
As of right now, you would be shocked. I would say it's one, two. I would say probably about 5 to 7 that I
Five
know of
to,
for sure.
five to
Five to
seven
seven.
black houses out of 40 houses, which is wild because my number is four. I've counted.
but mine's grown to that number recently. I'm saying I would say within the last year and a half, we've had about 3 or 4 of those families come in.
Why is there such a disparity? I mean, that's not this episode, but man,
And I'm counting that 5 and 7, not including my own household. And at this point, I didn't count Indian or Middle Eastern or Latin families at that point. That's
nah.
just
I
straight
said
black.
what I said. I said
Yeah, I
black.
know. Yep, I know.
I'm counting 4, and that's me included.
That's crazy.
So when I start to talk about, and this is what I think I'm about to get disrespectful, and I'm just gonna have to do it. When I start, oh, nah, real talk, bro, because I'm sick of it, bro. When I start talking about undesirables, I'm talking about European people that look at black people as if we're the undesirables. And most of the time, bro, when we move into a community like that, we are finally coming into home ownership. We don't want to ruin our property. We're not the undesirables. Somebody else is. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave that where that's at. Don't get me wrong. There are some black people I'd be like, yo, bro,
Bruh, get your stuff together. Uh-huh.
right.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
think the difference is each one still got to teach one. Bro, I am that person that will walk up to a black person and be like, yo, hey, yo. I will.
Facts.
I did it once. There was a group of kids, and one of my neighbors has like a real nice like flower beds and all of that stuff. So one little baby girl's, I think she had to been like 6, 7, man. She plucked one. I seen her pluck it.
Oh.
She was with her brothers and her sisters, and this dude came out. I mean, he was firing off. F out of here! I mean, firing off, and rightfully so. They plucked your flower bed. I get it, right? But then he did the cardinal sin. He pulled. He pulled. And bro, you know me, bro. You know me. I'm
Let's
always
go for
dragging.
terrorists. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's
Uh-huh.
always
All
that.
right.
It's always that. And the way I assess the situation is, okay, listen, they are in the wrong. They came on your property, right? But it wasn't fully on his property. It was like by the sidewalk. He has a flatbed on the sidewalk and a flatbed on his property. She plucked one off of the sidewalk part of it. I mean, so give or take,
It's
right?
in passing. Mm-hmm.
Right, give or take. She's still in the wrong, right? I can address that with her, or I can have her parents address that with her, but I should probably be the one to address that with her. The way you spazzing on her, and yes, he was a different hue. The way
Mm-hmm.
you spazzing on her, that's not gonna work. So of course, bro, you know what I did? I didn't pull because he's not waving it. He ready
Get
to
ready.
pull. He there.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing them. That's why I'm like, you. That's a fear thing. Don't do that because somebody really will take it there with you. I'm here. So I told him, I was like, hey, brother, calm down. You stay out of it. I said, listen, you talking to children, this, and this. Let me deal with them. Do you want the flower back? Ain't nothing you could do with it. So she already snipped it. You know what I mean? No, I want them to get off my property. No problem, no problem. So I'm like, so I talked to her with peace and love. I said, hey, you can't do stuff like this. She said, it was so pretty. Oh, girl, bro, you feel me? I'm like, listen, little mama, look, I get it, but you can't just go into the world and do that. They will harm us for that. She didn't understand.
She's too young.
She's too young. She didn't understand that, bro. And that broke my heart. But I'm just like, bro, what happened to us being neighbors and stuff like that? That when you're a homeowner, I get it. They came on your property. But bro, between me and you, I never told you this, bro. I told you I got a bunch of cameras around the compound, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I had a kid that was on a bike in the neighborhood. I've never seen the kid before. Do you know he rode his bike all the way up my driveway, turned around, and then took his feet off and then rolled it down? Because mine goes like a type of like a hill.
Up
He rode it
incline. Mm-hmm.
all the way down. I have it on video. I sat there and I recorded it. And I was just like, I laughed and I was like, yo, if I was a different hue, I probably would have went outside and started spazzing. Because I looked at that happened like maybe a week after I had that confrontation with the other neighbor with these black
Yeah.
kids. And I'm like, this is a black kid on a black bike. I mean, on a bike, riding up a driveway of a black home. Yes, he's in the wrong. I get it. I understand that. He's in the wrong. He can't, bro, if you come all the way up my driveway, you're going to see one day, you way on my property.
Yeah,
I
hear
on my
that.
property. You feel me?
I hear.
He turned around and rolled down. And it's like, bro, it's harmless. It's a kid. How did we get so far removed? And I'm just like, yo, it's a disparity. You keep talking about the undesirables. I think the undesirable is the person living in the home.
Woo! That's a bar. That's a bar. That's a bar.
All right. So I ain't gonna bore y'all to death, man. We've been long winded on this episode, man. Let me talk about Texas real quick, and I'm gonna just shoot through it. Texas is on a grid. Okay. For those of you that don't listen, for those of you that don't understand, Texas has its own electric. We produce our own electric. The rest of the United States is on a shared electric power grid. Texas has its own power grid. I need y'all to really understand what I'm saying to y'all. If there was a civil war to break out, I think Florida and Texas would link up and other people would link up with Texas because Texas has its own electric. Y'all don't understand how serious that is. The downfall to having your own electric is that when it goes down, America be like, don't come over here, don't look at us. We ain't got nothing to do with that. So every time a hurricane come or winter thing come, oh my goodness, bro. It is the worst. And it be weeks, sometimes weeks before people get their electric back, dog. So there's that. So if you're thinking about moving to Texas, consider that. Okay. But don't come down here. We full. We don't want you. And I said we. All right, two more things, man. The birds and the bees.
All right, what is this? Because I need to hear. I've been wondering what this was.
All right, let's talk about it, man. So when people think of birds and bees, they think of sex. They think about people historically telling you that. But no, I'm talking about actual birds and bees. There was a situation where on seriously, bro, there was a
Keep
situation.
going, keep going.
My attic, right? They call it an awning.
Oh, I know where you going. Oh, yes.
There's slits on the outside of the attic, not inside the home, but outside the home. It's there for ventilation purposes. Birds decided, you know what, this is a perfect space for us to make love and set up a nest and put our eggs here. And I started hearing chirp, 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 chirp. Astronomical chirping, bro. Not normal chirping, astronomical chirping when I would go outside. And I'm not the side of the home where the attic is, where they're at. I'm usually not over there. I'm put a little workout room in there, but I'm usually not over there. So I only hear it when I'm by the driveway. And I looked up and I seen birds flying in and out, in and out. And I was like, ain't no way. And bro, ain't no ladder big enough for me to get up there. It is, but I'm not getting up there. Okay. It's far up there. So I'm like, dang. Right. So just that moment when I'm looking at these birds, I see my neighbor, the neighbor I'm cool with, he come out. He's like, hey, Justice. I'm like, oh, what's going on, brother? He's like, hey, come over here real quick. I'm like, all right, bet. So I walk with him, right? He don't say nothing. He's standing there like this. This is a different hue individual, but he cool. He cool. Older brother. So he's standing there. I'm like, what's going on? He points. Mind you, he cold. He not saying nothing. He points. He's like, oh, make sure you step back. I was like, step back. I'm like, is it a snake, bro? Because we got a bunch of snakes in Texas. I'm like, this is a snake. He's like, no snakes. It's worse than a snake. I said, what's worse than a snake? I look up, bro. It's a swarm of bees under I guess the shingle of my property, bro. So I'm like, I said, hey yo, what am I looking at right now? He's like, yeah, this happened before. He said, I'm pretty sure they built a colony on the inside of that shingle. And if you're not careful, they're gonna go into your home. I said, huh? Bro, it had to been like 200 bees, bro. 200. Mind you, I just got done looking at this bird situation. I'm not, bro. I
Yo,
cannot, bro.
bro, what?
I can't make this up. This really happened, bro. I'm telling you. So I'm looking at
Yo,
these bees. And I'm like, bro, I don't. As a homeowner, this is my first time ever dealing with something like that. I'm like, what am I even supposed to do? He's like, yeah, call your pest control people, see what they say. And he walked off. I'm like, bro, you're not worried about these bees. He said, as long as you don't walk too fast, they won't sting you. I was just like, all right, all right.
the
So I called
birds
the
and the bees.
right birds and bees. Call the pest control people. They come out. They was like, when they assessed it, when they was done, they told me to move away. And they was like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to alarm you, but I'm glad you called when you called. He said, because it's pretty bad. I said, why you say it like that? He said, listen, I'm about to get my suit and I'm gonna take pictures for you. And then you decide what you want to do. Long story short, he went up there. He had to break up a lot of the it's the siding of the house. That's what it's called. He had to break up a lot of the siding. He took pictures. It was 3 colonies. He said it was 3 colonies. Yeah, exactly. 3 colonies of honeybees that had created 3 different huge patches of honey in a colony and one queen ant in there. And he said if we allowed that to keep going, he said it was only a matter of time before they would have probably got in the home somehow, some way through the chimney, and then we would have got bit up. He said it could have got so bad to a point that like, if they would have allowed that to continue, that we would have probably been asleep one day, not even realize it, and they would have just ding, 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 and we would have died in our sleep because they would have stung us to death. And I asked him, I was like, bro, I was like, honeybees that dangerous? He said, one or two, maybe not. He said, multiple together, they will kill you. He said, those things are more dangerous than a shark. I said, come on, bro. We talking about a shark. He said, man, look it up. He said, one of the leading deaths in humans is honeybees. I looked it up. He was serious. He was right. I said, that's crazy.
What?
That's crazy, bro.
What? The things they don't tell you. Yo, that is crazy. How you get rid of the birds though?
I'm about to get there. So let me finish with the honeybees. One thing at a time. So he went up there with the honeybee suit. They did their thing. They knocked off the whole siding. He was like, unfortunately, we can't put that siding back up for you. You have to do that yourself. Bro, come on. So that was a whole ordeal. I had to order that special piece. I had to go paint it myself because they don't make that paint. I made that a new Yeah, it was a whole project, bro. And then thank God for my wife that she'd be down to help me and stuff like that. So she had to hold it with me as I'm nail gunning in on the side. Then I had the hammer in it. That was a whole experience. So we got that situated. The bees are gone. Those birds, man, because there's a bird laws protecting birds.
Oh, like the pinches and stuff. Yeah, that's right.
There's only so much you can do based off of how far along they are with the process. Thankfully, there were no eggs up there. They told me if there were eggs up there, they would have to wait until the birds hatched and flew the coop. But there were no eggs up there yet. They had just started making the nest. And the little bit, they said they found eggs, but they were open already. So whatever eggs were in there, they had already hatched. But he said he was paying attention to it. He said it seems like they were going to make new ones. He said, so we caught it just in time. So they had to get up there. They cleaned it out. They took the whatever that is called, the nest out and all that. And then they put it's like a layer of protected over it and they nailed it in. And if you look up, you can't see it at first glance, but if you look up and really just stare at it, you can see it. It's mesh covering it.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do that in 1-2 kill. That was almost like $1,000, but then they hit me with a discount because I already have pest control through them. So they hit me with a discount. But I was just like, bro,
That's
the birds
crazy.
and the bees, bro, the same day? That's what we doing?
Yo,
Things they don't tell
pest
you.
control, yo, that's crazy.
And my last thing for Texas, man, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I know those of y'all like pools, y'all get excited about pools, but I'm gonna give you the warning ahead of time, bro. Pools are expensive, and you gotta maintain them, man. You gotta know the proper balance of the pH, everything. Um, the water heater, if the water heater go out for the pool, all this extra stuff. I got a hot tub. That's a whole different mechanism in itself, bruh. It is a lot. I just had to fire a pool company because they wasn't doing what they're supposed to do. And the only reason I didn't know, the only reason I knew they wasn't doing what they're supposed to do is because I was YouTubing. Because I told you I'm all the way in 2029, so I like to know what you're doing as you're doing it.
2029.
And I
I came
realized
with
that
you.
they wasn't taking care of my pool the way they were supposed to take care of it. But how did I know that? I don't got no pool owners around me that, you know what I mean? My family don't got no, I think I'm the first person in my family with a pool. You feel me? So
Probably.
who I'm supposed to, hey, Pop's got a hot tub, but I'm talking about an actual pool. I think I'm the first person in my family to actually have one of those. So I had to really YouTube that stuff, try to figure that stuff out. So what I can say, the biggest takeaway, right, from this, because I think I'm done. The next thing we got to go into is Florida. My biggest takeaway from this is if you're going to get a home, or even you're going to go to a different situation, do the research, do the YouTubes, figure out what you're getting into. Even if you don't know what you're doing, like I told y'all about that chainsaw situation, I had people with me that told me, but I also YouTubed afterwards. Just YouTube everything. YouTube University is your friend. Ask around. Hopefully the community got good neighbors, good schools, things like that. Think about how long you want to do this and why you want to do this. That's my piece, man.
All right. So only thing I'm gonna really add on is more to the pest control stuff and talk about sinkholes real quick. Because pretty much what happens in Texas happens in Florida. The birds and the bees, I haven't had that issue, but I've had wasp nests all around my house, which is terrible. Yeah. They show up like nobody's business. Yeah. And if you started noticing wasps around your house, check your house. Call your pest control people, because it's most likely they have a nest or two around. And it's always around the same time of year. They try to come back and put them things up. And I look, I'm like, yep, I see it. And you know, my wife don't mess with the bug. So as soon as she sees the wasp, Mike, get it. So I had to go get my own wasp spray from afar.
Use the foam or do you use the spray?
It's like a foam spray.
Okay.
Knocks them out. And then I call pest control. They come clean around the house. Sinkholes. When we moved here, like 2-3 blocks over, there was a sinkhole right in front of our house. And I was like, yo, what? Sinkhole? And then I end up looking it up. It's because the surfaces in Florida, you know, the sand and the mud and everything, people don't really notice where the sinkholes are sometimes. So be aware of sinkholes. When I first moved here, there was a lot of sinkholes. There was a sinkhole that was 2 blocks over, and then there was the whole construction sinkhole of that building in one of the Florida cities. I can't remember exactly where, but where it took down the whole construction, people being hurt, couldn't be found, and then that was a whole construction issue thing. And then here's another thing about that. What that people don't even realize. Some of these construction companies that built some of these buildings years ago don't even exist now. Oh, so you can't really sue nobody.
You right.
Pay attention to stuff like that, guys.
But you got to also add, a lot of the reason the sinkholes happen is because of the limestones under the soil. And limestones, for those of you that don't understand, because I took a geology. Geology? Yeah, geology.
Geology.
Yeah, those are some. When water touches that, it's not I think it's phosphorus. Whatever the word is for the hardness.
Yes, you're on it. Yep.
Yeah, it's super low. It's not a diamond.
I took geology too. Okay, that was my science, bro. I'm with you. My lab and everything. I got you.
Right. So it's not an obsidian stone. It's a type of rock that it's a wrap. Florida has a lot of that in its soil. A lot of houses are built on top of that. That's one of the reasons I would probably never go there. But shout out to Mike. They're not full. Florida is welcoming y'all. Y'all moved to Florida. Texas.
Whoa, time out. No. Full. It's starting to get to the point where Florida is full, sir. Don't do that, because cost of living is going up down here. We were considered like number 2 or number 1 in the last year or so. So yeah, don't come to Florida no more. I already came. I stopped after me. If you won't come to Florida, be like 1 or 2 specks. Don't be like a whole drove. Please.
Well, Mike said y'all can have a couple of specks. Texas is full. We don't want y'all. Don't come here. We full, bro. That's it, man.
But with that, folks, I ain't got nothing else. We see y'all next week, people. This is a long episode.
Oh yeah.
Peace. What up, listeners? Mike B here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on IG at BMM_podcast. On TikTok at BMM Podcast. Facebook, just type in the Batman Misunderstood Podcast. And then you can find the Neighborhood Therapist at the Neighborhood Therapist on IG. And you can find myself at MikeB_BMM on IG. And if you want to connect with our producer, the DJ himself, Mr. DJ Daxter, check him out at DJ Daxter on IG. Alright, folks. See y'all next week.